They ain't necessarily trying to put money to the side for nothing. They ain't trying to invest in nothing. They just working overtime just for the sake of working overtime, bro. And we see it all the time. So for those people, yeah, it does make a bit of a difference. But you got and at some point where you say you're trying to do something in your life and you need extra income, bro, you got to do whatever it takes to get it, man. I mean, whatever it takes. And I'm not just doing whatever it takes on a 9 to 5 perspective. I'm still working. Bro, it ain't been a day I stopped. It ain't been a day that I haven't wrote since last year.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the
Ladies and
chains.
gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is D. Aaron Mack. We are back.
Back for another one. Episode what? 90, 91? 90, yeah, 91.
Ooh, big
Episode
91.
91. We got 9 episodes left until we get to the big 100.
Hey,
Hey,
99 should be 99 problems.
99 problems. I love it. 99 problems coming right up. All right. So yeah, very stressful week for me, man.
Come on.
Had a big breakthrough when it comes to like mindset shifting, man. And I wanted to talk about it. Did you happen to see the thing that I posted in the group chat?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, it's been hell on me, man. Like mentally, like it's really been. Bless you.
Thank you.
Like I've been having a really big mental block when it comes to doing the things that I'm supposed to do, man. And I just wanted to go there and talk about that on this episode. So, in some kind of way, let's bring that up in this conversation because I feel like there's a lot of people who going through what I'm going through, and you know, I want to talk to those people.
Yeah, I feel it. Like it, the whole topic it's connected to so many things.
Yeah.
And we kind of look past it because I mean that's life. Like we live life in this microwave area where we just want things quick and fast.
Yeah.
Prime example, my hair. This decision was kind of made on a whim. It's just something like I was like, I've never had dreads before. Let me just get into it. Not thinking of the end goal. Like I don't know if I want it like all the way down to my back. I ain't even think of that. I just got them. And then like as the process like went on, as my hair got longer, you know, I had to learn stuff about my hair. I'm still learning stuff about my hair. It's like different things that I have to do, different things I have to put in it.
Yeah.
And it's just there's no necessarily like there's no right or wrong. But it's just like different things will have different outcomes for my hair. Right now I was learning or looking at stuff to kind of like how to just keep like normal maintenance. With this hairstyle, it's not something you have to get done every day or like every other week or like every month or so. I can go like a couple of months without it getting done, without it like being a problem. Because getting it done too often is a problem, and getting it done not so often or like not in a is also
that definitely becomes a problem. You don't get it done enough.
Yeah, so
that
like,
definitely becomes a problem.
Finding that healthy middle ground is key. And like I said, it's a process, it's a journey.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we make those decisions on a whim, and we don't think of or most of the time we are thinking of the end goal, but it's just we're not thinking of the process in the middle, the things we have to go through, the things we have to learn, the things we gotta acquire.
Mhm.
Because to wrap this thing up, I'm gonna have to get like some type of cap, one of them, dreadlock caps that go down to your back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I can imagine that being a lot to tie up. And
thanks.
you usually wear like the balaclava. You just put the balaclava back on the back of your head, thinking you slick. But eventually them things gonna get too long on you, and it's gonna be too much to hang out in the back of your head.
Hey,
'Cause I like even now, like they a lot longer now than they were when we first started.
yeah.
So yeah, like I went back and watched one of the first videos that we did, and I was like, damn, my boy hair grew long as shit, like since we started, man. Um, yeah, man. But like leading up to this topic, something happened to me this week
Okay.
where and I was for a different work related issue. I went back and started listening to like episode 80 and was working my way back towards episode 90, man.
Okay.
And realized a contradiction in my my values, man. And it hurt, bro. It hurt, bro. So you remember back in like episode 81, bro, and I was like, we were talking about processes and doing things that that you're supposed to be doing for your business growth. And I straight shitted on working overtime, bro. I straight shitted on working overtime, bro. And I came to a realization like this week, dog, like you got to do everything that you said that you said that you were going to do, man. And no matter what it takes to get there, dog, you're gonna have to figure it out. And I got to a point, man, and me and Alyssa sat down and we talked about like what it's going to take to move to the next level and what it's going to take to get what we want out of life, man. And yeah, bro, like I sat down and we looked at a chart. We made a chart of what our finances would look like, and just the 9 to 5 portion of what we doing alone, man. And like our savings potential versus how much we make, dog, we coming out on top, bro. And for real, I ain't never been the person to come out on top when it come to paying bills. I've been like the paycheck to paycheck, and like there's been moments and opportunities where I got like a little extra money that came in, and all of a sudden I was like, I was good for like a few months, right? Or then eventually that little extra that you just got, it eventually fades out. And then you back to square one. And then you like, yeah, I'm gonna save up. Yeah, eventually I'm gonna start saving up. Let me pay this down and I'm gonna start saving up. So bro, I ain't never really been in this situation where I had savings potential. That's what it's all about. How much can you save up? And they say you're supposed to save 10% of what you make, or is it more than that? It's probably more than that. I would love to save up to 30% of how much I make in a month and just put it all to the side for something in the future. But we got plans, man. We got things that we trying to do. We got to come up with at least 25% down on our next property. So no matter how much that costs, like we were looking at like the best case scenario, we come across $150,000 house, bro, and we still got to pay $15,000 for that thing, man. Like just drop $15,000 right in on it right off the back. So at some point, like at some point, you're gonna have to save up some money, man. And I ain't necessarily at the point yet where I'm where I can move on just being an author alone. I can't just stop working and be an author right now because I ain't put in that work yet. So in the meantime of putting in that work, bro, I gotta stop making excuses. So and this week, what happened to me this week, I sat down and me and Alyssa, we said, if we work our normal hours at our job, this is how much we get. But if we work overtime, one extra day, both of us on each of these days, then this is what we'll be able to do at the end of the year. And bruh, like when I looked at that thing, man, I was like, yo, I absolutely hate the fact of selling more time. I absolutely hate the fact of selling more time. And she was like, but I can do it by myself. You don't have to do it. You can continue working. And I'm like, no,
Nope.
no, no, that's not an option. Because first of all, like I'm being real, like I said, and you know, it feel real good to say that you're self-employed. It feel real good to say that you're self-employed. It feel real good to say that you got some stuff going on outside the job. But real talk, bro, like when I ain't at the job, I ain't making no money, Mark.
Thanks.
I ain't making no money, bro. And like, yo, like you saying when I'm at work, I'm miserable. Bruh, be that as it may, you sign up to be miserable, so that's what you're gonna have to do. But at the same time, this is towards what's coming out of it. What's coming out of it? What are you doing with it? Why are you being miserable? What are you there for, bruh? And I think about people like Heidi, bruh. Like Heidi, I don't know if it like people don't know that Heidi is one of our friends. We had her on the show last year sometime, bruh. Like I think it was episode 24 that her and the rest of the ladies was on. The transformation of Handsome Rob was the name of the episode. And bro, like I don't know if anybody knew this or not, bro, but she works, bro. She grinds. Like she puts herself in situations where she has to save money, and it forces her to save money, and she puts money to the side. She works every single day that she can, bro. I'm talking like up to 60 hours a week, but she does that so that she can put the money to the side and stack up, bro. Because she got a plan. She has an overarching plan that she has to get to, bro. I started thinking about people like her, people like Michelle who do the same thing, bro. And like I was just like, yo. You say that you want something. How bad do you really want it? How bad are you really in it for? Like, how much are you willing to put into getting this, bro? So we got things coming up, man, and I'm just tired of making excuses because, like, I leave on the day that like a mandatory overtime day and just go home and do nothing, like a bunch of research or stuff. Like, yo, you gotta get out of that, man.
I mean. Not saying that the research is a bad thing because you're gonna have to learn that eventually. Also shout out to Michelle because I think she got first, right?
Oh yeah, bro. Like yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot all about it. Yeah, yo, shout out to Michelle Balcom, man. I don't even know what the title is, but yo, I just know she went to a strong woman competition and got first place in that boy. Like two times, like first place in two competitions at one time.
Let's go.
Like, yo, I'm proud of her, man. Went out to Cincinnati, ain't tell nobody. I mean, you know, went out that joint, huh?
I mean, I caught her off. I caught her on an off day. Not really off day. I was on the power equipment, and I just passed it by, and I was like, stop, because I was like, I'm bored. I need somebody to talk to. So I went to Michelle. I was like, hey, how you doing? She was like, she's good. And then I don't know how the conversation got started or what made me bring it up. Because I think she mentioned or I seen somewhere that she was going to a competition. And I was like, so how does that work? Like, do you just take off work or like do you, I think she mentioned she had a competition coming up. She was going to take a leave. She was going to go out there. And I was like, how long do they last? Like, do you be like burning through time like that? Or but I think she said she was only up there for two weeks.
Yeah.
And then she'll be back down.
I think she'll be back next week, if I'm not mistaken. Like next like Sunday, I think she'll be back at work.
Okay.
So yeah. So shout out to her, man, winning that title, bro. It's like she's been working towards that for a while now, man. And like coming back from where she was, dog, like she call it falling off. Other people just call it living. Like she lost her muscle mass and she was like, no. She went back into the gym like and almost immediately just like got back to it, bro. And I'm talking like day in and day out. Like before work, after work, bro. She was going for it, bro. And I'm proud of her, man. So shout out to Michelle Balcom, man.
I'd love to see that training montage.
Right, bro. Right. Like I think she posts a lot of it on her Instagram page too. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I seen a few videos of her working out on Instagram on the stories too. So yeah, man. Getting back to it, like I was just like thinking about the sacrifices that we make to to move forward. Just a sacrifice. What are you gonna sacrifice to move forward? And when you sacrifice it, how is it going to benefit your bottom line?
Right.
When you make that sacrifice, yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's truly what are you willing to sacrifice?
Right.
Because and like you said, is it gonna benefit you? Because a lot of times we'll empty sacrifices that amount to pretty much nothing. Like people come in to work on these overtime days, and once they get that little extra money, you see a lot of new cars out there. But like, what was that for? Like you already had a car that was getting you from point A to point B back to point A.
Yeah. Man, and not to say, that you had more point B's, because you still only got 1 point B, because you don't go nowhere but work.
Facts.
So it really don't even make no difference.
You did all that sacrifice, all that hard work to make it look nice, to make it look like you're balling out here with this fancy new car.
Right.
But you were fine with the car you had. So why would you sacrifice all that just for, to look like
the part? Look the part. Because let's be real. You trying to look the part. You trying to live in luxury, and you ain't got a luxury lifestyle. You're driving a luxury car to sit at a 9-to-5, like at a blue collar 9-to-5 at that. Like you ain't even white collar. You ain't even give yourself the leeway, the headroom to even be white collar. You driving a luxury vehicle, and that's what you sacrifice for. And you're right. The empty sacrifices, Mark, and I'm glad you said that, because it made me think about empty sacrifices. Right, what I thought was a sacrifice, Mark, in my like reality, what I thought was a sacrifice was actually the empty sacrifice. I was sacrificing the overtime day. I was sacrificing the overtime day, saying that I was going to go home and work, Mark. And when I went home to work, I won't making no money. So how much sense does it make to pass up on the opportunity to make money to go sit at home? And granted, and I want people to catch this. Like, for anybody who listened to that episode where I talked about having less respect for people who say they're entrepreneurs who work overtime. Now, and there's a reason why I said it in that episode, and I had to really sit back and think about why I said what I said, but I still mean it, because you do have some people who say they're entrepreneurs, but they don't necessarily work for themselves. I'm just being real. They entrepreneurs. They say they're entrepreneurs, but they're not self-employed. They entrepreneurs that say that, all right, I got this that I do on the side. I got this hobby that I do on the side. But at the end of the day, you still listen to your boss more than you listen to yourself. Now, for the person who has the side hustle, the person who is making their way forward, you can tell who's who. People in the game can always tell who's who, bro. And for real, like, you got people who work overtime just for the sake of working overtime, but they ain't necessarily saving up for nothing. They ain't necessarily trying to put money to the side for nothing. They ain't trying to invest in nothing. They just working overtime just for the sake of working overtime, bro. And we see it all the time. So for those people, yeah, it does make a bit of a difference. But you got, and at some point where you say you're trying to do something in your life and you need extra income, bro, you got to do whatever it takes to get it, man. I mean, whatever it takes. And I'm not just doing whatever it takes on a 9-to-5 perspective. I'm still working. Bro, it ain't been a day I stopped. It ain't been a day that I haven't wrote since last year.
Right.
Bro, I'm about to finish book 3 of the series that I just released book 1 for, bro. Like, I'm still working. So what I come to realize is that while the grind is on standby, you got to make the 9 to 5 the front runner.
Okay.
But while you make your 9 to 5 the front runner, you got to put that money to the side to make your side hustle outrun your 9 to 5.
Okay.
And that's the struggle that I had this week, man.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it leads into a deeper issue, bro, because you know, self-development, man. That's how
Yeah.
that's
I'd like to shout out those I wouldn't say shout out, but it's something to take away from, to admire, because it's everywhere. Every job has that one either old dude or somewhat kind of near an old dude that's just like, yo, I'm here to work. I need money. I'm here to work. I had one dude that I worked with on at the solar power plant. He slept in his car, you know, took showers at gas stations basically or whatever. And it won't necessarily that he was homeless. I mean, it was something going on, you know, back home that we ain't gonna really get into. But like he came to work. He was trying to work basically like every day. He would always ask, you know, do you need me to do anything extra after work? Can I, you know, stay on the clock a little bit longer? Just
let me work. Just let me work.
And I'm just like, yo, you gonna work yourself into an early grave. But he's like, but I'm getting that money though. I was like, but what's the
outcome? Like, what's the outcome? Where your end game going, bro? Like
I admire your motive, your drive, but like, what are you accomplishing with all this? And it's everywhere. It's at every job. It's that one person. And
yeah, man. And they so common, bro. And you know why they common? Because that's blue collar mentality, bro. That's old world, genuine, first edition blue collar mentality, dog. Yep. Like, and no stretch of the imagination is this a long term thing, bro. Like, I'm definitely not going to be able to do this for a whole 365 days straight, 52 weeks. I'm gonna work. Oh, that's 52 extra days of work. Oh God. Oh, that just made my chest hurt a little bit. But bro, like for real, like in no way is that a long-term remedy for long-term success. Yeah. Like that's not how that works. Like you're not about to work overtime every single week just to say that, you know, I mean, because like at the end of the day, like, yo, what do you got to show for it? Like 40 hours is already enough.
Yeah.
40 hours is enough. So you shouldn't live over your 40-hour mean. So like if I continue doing this, then I need to have a plan. So like for anybody out there who's doing this, yo, just make sure you're not doing it for nothing. Okay. If you're gonna work every single week of an extra day or two every single week, then make it count. Don't work an extra 52 days a year just to work another extra 52 days.
Yes.
I'm just being real, man.
Yeah.
I'm just being real, bro. I'm just being real, dog.
Because it's real deep. Like the mindset has been passed down from generation to generation. Mm-hmm. When work first, I ain't gonna say first started, but we at a very long time ago,
when the labor revolution first started, there you go.
Yep. Everybody was their status was based on the work that they did. Yeah. You had a very important job. You was of very important status. You had a very important car. You had, you know, everybody knew you. You got that respect because of what you did. Now in later terms, you know, we've learned that it's not that case anymore. Like I can have a high paying job. I can be an essential worker, but yet I'm still slaving. Like bruh. I'm still not even mid class.
We work with somebody that got a 750 Li, bro.
What?
a brand like at least a 2018 750 Li, bro. Like real
Jesus.
talk. We drive you out here driving Beamers in a corporate 9 to 5 job, like making the starting salary, bro. Like so, yeah, that important vehicle thing isn't even a thing anymore. We got Uber. I don't even need a car no more for real life. I
Facts.
don't even need a
And
car
we
no
got
more.
people that do that. They
Yeah,
Uber
bro. We
everywhere.
got people who do that while outside of working, bro. They work 5 days a week and go work. It go work Uber and Lyft, bro. Like real talk, dog. It's crazy. It's crazy. But if you're gonna be doing all that, man, make it count. Yeah. I was talking to a dude at work, man.
Mhm.
One of the managers, dog, and Alyssa told me recently that he was a real estate investor, man. I
Mhm.
don't know if I told you this, but he had real estate before he started working there, man. And and this is going to talk to the difference in culture that we came from, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because he dude young, bro. He not old. He not old. He not an old dude. He not even. I think he like your age, Mark. And he Hispanic dude.
Mhm.
Born. I would assume that he born here. He don't have no accent or nothing like that. But he obviously came from good a good
Good
breed, I
background.
guess you could say, a good breed,
Mhm.
a good family. They did what they were supposed to do.
Mhm.
Is what I'm gonna go ahead and say. Um, or either that, or he did what he was supposed to do in his early 20s. Like, just go ahead and put that out there too, because I probably could have had the same opportunities had I did what I was supposed to do. But
Right.
like my man, he was talking to me about his properties. I asked him how many doors you got.
Mhm.
It's like I got 5, and I'm working on the 6th one right now.
Okay.
But the 6th one is a commercial. Oh, a commercial property. That's dope. Like, bruh, I don't know if you know what commercial like when you buy a commercial property, dog. Like that could be anything. I mean, it could be like a office space or whatever, or
Mhm.
it could be something like commercial zone land, or if you paying for like a building, like an apartment building that's over 4 units, bro. That's commercial property.
Come on.
Yeah, that's commercial property, bro. Whatever it is, yo, you got to pay 40% to that. You gotta
Okay.
pay 40%. And we not talking about house prices, dog. We talking about like upwards of $500,000. You gotta pay 40%. My man was just like, yeah, I'm about to do that. I'm about to do that. He's like, all my doors are paid off. I'm just making passive income outside of here. He said
What?
the goal is, he
Hey.
said, and he was like talking to me about like, yo, he was
Mhm.
like, yo, he was like, this building that we working in, man, like this company pays the woman who owns this land in this building like $30,000 a month. And I'm
That.
like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I remember hearing about that. And he was like when I first started, I was playing around with the idea
Mhm.
and went to get my first income property and put $40,000 into it, and then I fixed it up, and I was like, "Oh, that is crazy." What I did here, the only thing that stuck out to me on that conversation, Mark, was the fact that he went in with $40,000 at the beginning.
Mm.
At the
Mm.
beginning,
Come on.
so your goals is going to cost you upwards of 10,000, 20,000, $30,000 to start, and you spending all of your paycheck on cars.
Mm.
You spending all of your paycheck on food, luxuries. You spending your paycheck on vacations. But your dreams is gonna cost $30,000. You could have had it already, bro. If you
Mm.
won't spending it on
Thanks.
bullshit, man. Man, oh man.
That is dope.
Hmm.
And it's crazy because me and my friends, we've been saying like we wanted to do stuff like that since like high school. We
Mm-hmm.
were planning, we was like, hey, you know, find like the busiest highway, buy like a land close to it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, get that land and buy a strip or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then just have like companies be like, hey, you know, I want to put
Yup.
my business right here. And that right there, that happens a lot behind the scenes that we don't see. It
Oh
doesn't get
no.
talked about like
Oh
that.
no.
Because the solar power plant I was working at, all that land, that was farmland that was, you know, basically in that same situation. It was kind of
Yeah.
being rented. Like the farmer could come out there and be like, hey, you know, I want to do something else with it. Y'all take all this down. And like we were paying whoever farmland that was to, you know, put these solar panels up on there. And it's
Yeah, man. It goes to show, man, just the mentality of where you come from, bro. Because this ain't necessarily a conversation that my mom would understand, dog. Like I couldn't go have a conversation like this with one of my uncles and like continue it. Like that's just it is what it is, bro. Like I didn't come from people who had conversations like this,
Right.
and that's why like when I seen my man, like I already knew his track record. Alyssa gave me the ins and outs of what he has done already, but I had to talk to him personally to hear it from the horse's mouth because it sounded a lot better, bro. And when I had that conversation, Mark, that's when I knew what I had to do, dog. Because when my man told me he put down 40,000, I'm like, yo, you ain't got 40,000. You ain't got 40,000, bro. How you about to go buy a commercial property? You ain't got 40,000. And I don't even at 40,000, bro. Like let's see, like 400,000 dog. Like that's $400,000, 40%, 40 like yeah, like 25%. That's for 40, yeah, somewhere in that area, bro. Like, come on, dog. Like I mean, I don't know math and all that, but dog, that's a lot of money. That's more money than what I'm making. Like, I ain't about to just make like, bro. We don't even make that much in a year at our job, dog. We don't even make that much, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, dog. So I had to get in that on that soapbox of that mentality and going into you know, me reneging on what I said in the previous episode. I had to go ahead and put that out there. So I apologize for the miscommunication. But
we learn,
we live and we learn, man. You know, I had to take my own advice, bro. And something that I said on a more recent episode was the reason why I went back to take that advice and had to eliminate that thought process. All in all, man. But yeah, like that's not even what we even came on this episode to talk about, bro. Like we went into, we could have made that an episode on its own.
I mean,
oh man, but yeah, but for real, like that's the situation that brought me to my realization, man. Because like we sit back, man, and we think like we got all these things that we want to do in our lives, and we want so much out of life. We want so much. I mean, we want the money, we want the cars, we want the fame, we want all this under the sun. But bro, like when it comes to like how we move on those actions, like how we move on those things, like how many times do you sit back and just like fantasize about the life that you want? Like, I'm asking a question, Mark. Like, how much do you do it? Because I do it all the time, bro.
Do it a lot.
All the time, dog.
Because all right, because kind of like with the topic you wanted to bring up, about, you know, the journey, and we only fantasize about the end goal. Sometimes the journey, thinking about the journey or whatever, can be too much for people. And I'm not saying that it's
it definitely
something
is
to do, but it's something you should do to where it's comfortable. Because I remember, you know, coming up, going to school, doing whatever, trying to kind of follow the path, you know, my basically my mom set out for me. You know, you gotta get a job, work up the corporate ladder, maybe get this position to where you're making about 35 an hour or whatnot.
The dead plan.
Basically, and like every so often, I'd get like this headache or like, from working so much, I'd get overwhelmed. It happens. People get overwhelmed.
Right.
And I'm not gonna say it was scary, but like I was like, yo, what is this? Like, why is this? Why am I feeling this way
Yeah.
about work? Like, is this what life is supposed to be like? If I'm supposed to do this like for the rest of my life until I get to the top? Like, what is the top? If I work up that corporate ladder, the bar keeps raising. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do I just stop at the top of this building, or do I stop when I get to like the corporate CEO level? Do I got to move out to wherever the headquarters of Amazon is and try to work up to be the CEO? Like, when does this end?
Right.
Uh, and like that whole process right there, thinking of the each individual steps of how hard I have to work, what I got to do to get there, that is overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But if I wanted to go that route, I should be willing to think about that, to go and do any and everything to make it to that level. If I want to take that route, that is not.
Yeah. I want to go into like try to like simplify it for people who listening, because they might not like fully grasp what we're trying to say. And I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page when we're talking about this. And what we're talking about right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the thought of doing the things that you want to do in life. Like your most grandest dreams and aspirations. It's like, I want to be a motivational speaker, a writer, this prolific national bestseller author. I want my books and everything to be adapted into the silver screen and all of these things, and it's easy to fantasize about those things. It's easy to fantasize about that. It's easy to, when I write my books or whatever, when I'm writing in them, I can imagine I can imagine what's going on based off of a movie that I'm watching, and add a little bit of literature things that kind of make it a book along the way. But at the end of the day, I am fantasizing about watching it on the silver screen, and those things kind of keep me going. But at the same time, even though those things are the things that keep me going, we don't, as human beings, because our bodies and our brains are naturally wired to look at the path of least resistance. You're not in your happy place when you're thinking about what the stress that you're going to go through when it comes to getting the things that you want in life. That's what we're talking about, just to make sure that everybody is caught up. So
yeah, man.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, your brain is basically like the problem solver. And when it solves the problem, it tries to find the most easiest, most comfortable way. And we gotta get out of that.
I'm glad you went there.
I mean, it needs to be touched on. Like, we get so comfortable with doing, the regular thing, that when adversity comes up, it makes us want to quit. It's like something goes off in your brain, and if you don't know how to handle it, or if you don't know how to, address it, you're gonna quit. Like, you'll be doing the things that you want, and then something hard comes up, and you're just like instantly like, oh, nope, I don't want it.
Yeah, like your brain, like Mark just said, your brain is made to solve problems, bro. Your brain is made to find the path of least resistance. Your brain creates an algorithm that helps you avoid the dangers of the things that are in front of you. But the problem is that our brains, and here's what happens, like, you got this goal of, and like most people, like Oh, Alyssa kills me with it, man, because she does it a lot, and we had this conversation, and I don't even know if I even got the permission to even have this and bring use her as an example. But bro, like we'll come up with a plan to do something, and then something bad will happen, and all of a sudden she break down, and I'm like, yo, why didn't you see this coming? Why didn't you see this coming? Like for real, like yo, like we're doing this, and obviously there's a room for error. There's room for error with everything. Like there is nothing. I've never done anything in my life, that didn't have room for error. Like I don't even know how that worked. And it's funny though because like what I used to do, like as a speaker, when I started public speaking, I didn't account for room for error. I don't know how that worked. I didn't account for room for error. I didn't account that, I could be making eye contact with somebody and they completely look off and it threw me off my game. I didn't account for there's somebody who can get up and walk out and go to the bathroom and it throw me off my game. I didn't account for somebody like asking a question in the middle of one of my presentations, bro, and it completely threw me off my game. So my brain, as I was doing the action, as I was fantasizing about myself standing up on that stage and having a successful speech, I didn't account for the things that are just the things that's just going to happen. The things just naturally happen. I didn't account for somebody heckling me while I was speaking. But people, they like while you're learning about public speaking, you learn about how to deal with heckling anyway. That's one thing that always confused me because like when we're learning about things, as we're learning, we learn about how to not do things, right? But if you did the things that you're not supposed to do, then they're going to teach you about the worst case scenario. So if we already learning about the worst case scenario, why are we ignoring the fact that the worst case scenario can happen when we're doing it? I don't get it. I don't get that, bro. Like, how are you as a human being saying that this is what I want to do, but you're looking at the goal? And by all means, go ahead and do that, man. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and look at the goal. Go ahead. That's what you're made to do. Like that's what affirmations is. I told you to have affirmations. I told you had dreams. I told you had something to look forward to. And put your blinders on to make sure that you focus on nothing but that goal. But the problem where most people have, they put the challenges to the goal on the outside of the blinders. And I'm speaking, but I promise you, bro, I'm speaking on experience right now, bro. I'm speaking on experience because when I had the goal of making a lot of money in the last company that I was in, I didn't have the foresight to say, okay, I'm going to deal with the few times during this trial that when I have a presentation, ain't nobody going to show up to it. Just being real, bro. Most people, when I told y'all that most people like who start podcasts, they don't go anywhere past the fourth episode. Four episodes is usually the average of people who start podcasts and quit. They weren't accounting for the fact that people may not listen to the first 4 episodes.
That's crazy.
They weren't accounting for it. Like what you wanted to happen is for people to listen to it. So why didn't you account for the times of people not listening to it? I mean, there's room for error in everything we do, right?
And it's first of all, that statistic is crazy because like there's so many podcasts out there. I don't know the whole number out there, but
it's over 100,000 podcasts out right now, man.
That means there could be more podcasts out there. There could be more information put out there. People coming together, listening to whatever podcast out there. But they stopped. They stopped at that fourth episode. It's like nobody gonna listen to this.
And the crazy thing about it, like those podcasts are still counted in that number. They're still counted in that number because I mean, if you put it out there, bro, it don't go nowhere. It don't go nowhere. What? If you put it out there, it's still there. Like for real, like we can upload a podcast and stop recording podcasts for 100 years, bro. It'll still be there as long as data still exists and the platform that put it up is still there. It's still there. It's still there, bro. And you know, I man, shit, man. Even way back, man. Like I could think back on like as a kid, dog. Like I used to just fantasize about this, that, and the other, whether it was relationships or like in growing up, it was business and just the things that I wanted out of life, the kind of lifestyle that I always wanted to live, man. And I'd never thought about the bad things, never. And something that that I learned when I used to work at Walmart distribution center. Their thing in management was inspect what you expect. Inspect what you expect. Ooh. So if you go in and if you go into a certain situation, then there should be some kind of expectation of things that could go right as well as things that can go wrong. And if I set the expectation for things to always go right, then I never have a plan when they do go wrong. And most people, that's the problem here. Most people, they go into situations where it's like, okay, I want to do something. But here's the thing. You got a roadmap, right? You got 3 dots. You got a timeline. You got 3 dots on the timeline, right? You got the start, where the idea is, and you got the finish. And then at the middle, you got this little dot here that you know, the process. This is a process dot, and here over here is the your destination. And then like people, they when they start, they're like, okay, yeah, I want to write a book. They go right over the process part. They just go straight to the, like you trying to just like develop a book right out the back. Like, yo, there's things that you gotta do. You gotta work on. There's things that you gotta work through, man. People who trying to lose weight do it all the time, man, where they're like, yo, I want to lose this weight right now. Well, it took you 3 years to put it on, so that's not gonna happen. Well, I want to lose it right now. I want to get right by summertime. No, that's not how that works. You're gonna have to. So they get into the gym, and let me tell you what they do. They get into the gym and they say, "All right, point me to the hardest working machine in here, and let me do that. Let me completely destroy every cell in my body to try to lose all this weight the fastest way possible." And then they get on it. They hurt themselves, they burn themselves out in like the first 2 days of going to the gym, and then they look at the scale and they be like, yo, the scale ain't move. Why the scale ain't moving? Because it take time to do that. It took you 2-3 years to put on this much weight. And you think you just about to lose it in like a weekend, bro? That's not how that works, bro. Like, yo, do you know what you got to do to yourself to lose 2 years worth of weight in a weekend? I promise you, you don't want to go through that process. I promise you, you don't want to go through that process. That's a process that you might want to skip right there. So yeah, like, and then like I had this problem where I used to think about nothing but the goal. Like I sat back, man, and I was on a treadmill the other day, and a song came on that kind of reminded me of some characters that I really love in my story. Like I really love these characters, man. Like it's twin sisters. They got this story where it's like they started off as like they started off not knowing about each other, then they found out about each other, then they hated each other, and like their whole arch is like built up on like a Goku and Vegeta kind of rivalry, where it's like at the end, like there's a tragic ending, and then like, yo, it like, and I love these two characters, and this the two characters that this entire universe was built off of, right? So everything is a staple back to them. So I was thinking about these two characters, and it's like this song that I listened to that's on my motivational playlist that reminded me of them. And I'm like sitting on this thing, and I'm thinking about what Eric Thomas said, man. Eric Thomas said that everybody is always going to the transmitter, he said transmitter, but he actually meant transformer in the episode that I heard it on S2S. And you know the transformer that's on the light pole, the big gray box. The big gray box is where it regulates all the power in your neighborhood. And everybody, when they're thinking about their electricity, like he said that what you should do, instead of like when you turning on your electricity or you flip a switch on your light switch, You don't go out to the transformer and look at the transformer and be like, I wonder if that's gonna turn my lights on. You go straight to the switch, bro. You flip the switch, and if the lights come on, you're good. You had to get up. You had to think about the process of getting up to go to the light switch to flip the light on, and the light is on. You don't go skip the process and go straight to the source of energy and be like, hey, you gonna work today? Like, that's not how it works. Like, yo, you don't skip, you don't skip past the light switch. Like, if you want to turn the lights on in your house, you turn it on. You just go to the switch. You don't go to the transformer. You don't go to the electric company and be like, hey, can y'all send a signal over here so I can go ahead and flip this up? Like, yo, you get up and you turn on the light switch. If you don't pay your bill, that's a whole different story. I ain't got no advice for you if you don't pay your bills. Work some overtime. But yeah, so like, if you want to do something, bro, you have to look at the process. If me personally, best-selling author, right? I can sit back and imagine me being a best-selling author. I can sit back and do that. I've done that for years. I've done that for years, Mark. I've done the process of imagining myself as a best-selling author for 10 years. I'm being real. But what I haven't done for 10 years is imagine myself traveling to places, trying to do book signings, and ain't nobody coming to my table, Mark. What I haven't imagined, Mark, is me trying to send my book out to people who give me bad reviews. What I haven't imagined, Mark, is the uncomfortable process of getting on somebody's platform and talk about my book and not doing it correctly. What I haven't imagined, Mark, is people actually reading my book and giving me criticism based off of my book. What I haven't imagined is any of the trouble that I could get by just the amount of buttons that my stories press when people read it. What I haven't imagined is the failures that come with trying to be a best-selling author. I haven't imagined none of that. I haven't imagined none of it. I know what's going to come. Everybody who reads the book knows that's probably going to come, and at some point it's going to happen. But I haven't imagined anything but the upside. And what most people do is when the downside comes, when reality comes to smack you in the face and be like, hey, get back in your goddamn place. What most people don't realize is that when that happens, they don't prepare for it. They get into a space where it's like, okay, I want this goal. And as soon as adversity hit them, Mark said, they tapping out. Chris Benoit, crippler cross face, they tapping out.
Let's backtrack it to the whole losing weight and people not believing in the process. A lot of times all it takes would be that extra step. Like you said, people only do like 4 episodes in a podcast. Maybe that fifth one would have been it. But not to derail the moral of what you were trying to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Because like with losing weight, it takes a good month before, was it a month or I think it's a month before your body starts realizing, hey, we're working out more. All right, let's burn more fat.
21 days.
If you would have just waited and stuck through it, they would have gotten to that goal eventually. It might have not been in their timeline. A lot of times we get this mindset of, oh, I got this plan, I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna work this time, at this point in time.
You delusional. Mark, you said it. You said it already at the beginning of the episode. Microwave mentality, bro. You delusional.
Yeah. Right. And it's just like, if you're really passionate about it, why put a time limit on it?
If that's what you really want to do, right? Right.
Yeah. Not saying that you should kind of push things to the side. Oh, it'll get done eventually. No, put in the hard work, put in the determination, but like don't expect it to be acknowledged right away. Beyonce didn't become Beyonce and have the whole beehive behind her back
Oh yeah.
in 3 months.
Yeah.
Kanye didn't become Kanye in 5 months.
Kanye still went through the wire. Like what I did there.
it takes time to be recognized. Like there's I don't even know that it's a big number. It's a real big number. It's like what 20 digits of how many people on Earth? 20 digits.
What do you mean? Like no, is it like 8 billion?
8 billion?
Yeah.
8 billion? All right.
8 billion people.
8 billion people on Earth, and you gotta cycle through their timelines, their story, their Instagrams, their Facebook, whatever social media, before your stuff can get out there and be recognized.
That's good goals. That's good. Right. And like if we can make it any simpler, bro, like I can think of like tons of successful people who have gone through things that, and you just referenced Beyonce. And if Beyonce, like I'm just being real, if Beyonce didn't, if she just gone through life, just not really taking account that there could be failures, bro, she wouldn't be here where she is today. Shout out to Beyonce, man. Like that's the fucking queen. They call her the queen for a reason, bro.
Queen B. Yeah.
Queen B for a reason, bro. Like they call her that for a reason. Like that was on purpose, bro. Like for real. Like yo, like I'm just thinking about like her. What was the song that she did? I can't think of the name of that one though.
From the world.
No. It's a newer joint. But she had her days back in when she was in a group called Girls Time when they did that competition, that she played it at the beginning of one of her songs. And
Flawless, I think.
Flawless. Yeah. Yeah. I woke up like this. Yeah, that joint. But yeah, like she had the joint playing in the beginning, bro. Because people just always say that like she didn't go through failures. Like she just always came up winning. Like, and people look at people who winning and they just say like, yo, you always been there. Like you like look at the overnight successes, bro. People, I heard somebody talking about you know who Toby Nwigwe is? Toby Nwigwe. He's a hip hop artist, and he has this song called Try Jesus. You heard that joint?
I don't know if I heard that one, but I know who you're talking about. I've listened to a couple of his stuff.
African dude. Like yo, people started talking about Toby Nwigwe at work, bro, and I was like, and they was just like,
a minute.
Yeah, like he been out for like 6-7 years now, bro. Like he been grinding, and he's signed with ETA.
Come on.
Yeah, that's one of their artists, bro. Like they helped his career go, man. Like, and they talk about him all the time. How people like just come out the blue and just be like, yeah, Toby blew up out of nowhere. No, Toby been working for ages now, bro. Like, and CJ talks about Toby all the time. He even been on a few of the podcasts, and people just look at it like, yo, like the people who were talking about it at work, they was like, and I sat back and listened to the conversation because like he's known now. But when that song came out, like people were just hearing about him, and it had been like a few years that he made that song, and they were just like talking about him, like, yo, he just kind of blew up out of nowhere, and I was just like, oh, that's interesting that they feel like that, and I was like, and I kind of pulled out my phone and like went to an episode from like the episode of the S2S that he was on, and I was like, so this is Toby Nwigwe from about last year sometime, where they were actually talking about how he been doing this for a while. So he didn't blow up out of nowhere. I'm just letting you know that instant success don't happen. Because like average people think that just success just kind of comes to you, just like it comes to slap you in the face at the whim of a moment. Because they look at success as like a paycheck. Like you work for something, and then all of a sudden it just come and smack you in the face. Like if I do this, that, and the other, then all of a sudden I'm just going to make a paycheck. Like that's not how success works. So yeah, So we do live in a microwave society where people are very delusional about what they're going to get out of life. Yeah, man.
And another example about that happened to my younger brother recently. He just started working for I don't know the company, but he's basically a nurse for our grandfather.
Yeah.
Grandfather had a stroke, and the company that supplies nurses or whatever, they hired my brother. Or you sign up something, and you can be a potential nurse for or caregiver for your family members or something like that.
Uh,
He did his 2 weeks. I think they get paid bi-weekly.
yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, they ain't paid me." I was like, "It's your first 2 weeks, ain't it?" He was like, "Yeah." You in the hole, my friend. You gotta keep working, buddy.
You gotta keep going, bro. You gotta keep going, bro.
I was like, "Yep,
bro.
I remember those
I
days.
remember
First
them
starting
days,
a job."
I didn't even know places still do that, bro. Like I haven't had a job that did that in a while.
Come on.
Yeah, I haven't had a job that. I think the last job that I
Yeah,
had
that's
that
not
did
bad.
that was Sears, bro.
Nah, it
Our current
know.
job don't do it.
Don't.
Nope. Motherfuckers
What?
they get paid on the week that they train, bro.
Playing.
They
I thought
get
we
paid
did.
on the week that they train, bro. You get paid the next week.
I see why
Yeah,
people
but
keep trying to come up in there.
it's crazy. But yeah, like, bro, I'm just gonna leave it off or like y'all gotta come back to reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to understand that things just don't happen. They don't just happen just because you want them to happen. They happen because you put in the work to make them happen. Things don't just come to you because you just snap your fingers and all of a sudden the world just comes and gives you things like a Matterhorn. Like that's not how that works. Like yo, you have to work for it. I said Matterhorn, I meant cornucopia, but whatever. You had to work for the things that you want in life, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to work for it, inspect what you expect. If you expect to get a benefit out of life or you expect to reach a certain goal, then inspect the obstacles that you are going to get along with those goals that you are reaching for. Inspect the things that could go wrong more than the times that you inspect the things that could go right. It's easy. It's real easy to say that you got a business and that your business is going to make a lot of money, but at the same time, you got to be able to adapt to the things that can go wrong before you can adapt to the things that can go right. You don't need to adapt when things go right. You don't. You don't need to adapt when things go right. They already right. You don't need to change nothing. So when things go wrong, you need to be able to flip it up and move in a direction that's going to get you to right. And what I need you to understand is that in order for that to happen, you have to think about the things that can go wrong. The most successful person in the world, whoever that is, I don't care who you think is the most successful person in the world, they have not gone through life without challenges. Let's go ahead and get that out of our system right now, thinking that the people who are successful, the people who are wealthy, they don't have problems. No, they have problems that you don't understand, that you can't fathom because you think that they never had problems. And that's the reason why you don't see the problems that they go through, because you don't know how to find problems when they arise. You have to be able to accept the problems. I want problems. I'm just being real. I want problems. What I don't want is the problems that come with blue collar work. But what I do want is the problems that come along with me trying to reach my goals, because the problems that's going to come along with me trying to reach my goals only show that I am closer to reaching my goal than I was before I got the problem. Batman. Batman. he formed the Justice League. I don't care what nobody say. Batman formed the Justice League, right?
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere with this, Mark. Give me a second.
Alright.
And because we got people who nerd out a lot that listen to the podcast, bro, and they listen to it solely just because we cool, we homies, whatever the case is. But I want to talk to y'all about this. Batman created the Justice League. And it was all fine and dandy to say, we creating this team of super people and people with special abilities, and we're going to go out and we're going to destroy everything that comes to us. We're going to go out and we're going to make it work. We got the Super Boy Scout. We got Super Girl Scout over there with the rope. We got the dude with the arrow. We got the dude with the glowing wedding ring. We got everybody, bro. We about to take over the world. But even Batman, in the bliss of fighting crime with the Justice League, with people who are stronger than he could ever be, he still had a backup plan for things that could go wrong. And was able to take down everybody in the Justice League, even himself, provided things go wrong, bro. Inspect what you expect.
Even though
inspect what you expect, bro.
His was a threat. He made a threat. He was like, "Hey, you this is the plan to take me out, but be warned." This is the plan.
It better be a good one.
But yes, that's exact not exactly, but kind of exactly what I wanted to get into. Like when inspect what you expect, there's a yin to every yang. It's in balance. There's a equal good force and there's an equal bad force. You can't have one without the other. Things are gonna come up. Challenges are gonna arise. There are people out here that will not like you just because they will not like you. It just happens. There's people that are gonna be on board with your goal. There are people. It's the way of life. It's gonna happen. Expected. Even though I walk around here all happy-go-lucky, I still, not all the times, I do like to see the good in people, but sometimes something might rub me the wrong way, and I'm just like, this person might end up stabbing me in the back. Let me not go that way. Let me go this way. But when things like that come up, learn from, make those mistakes or those failures into lessons. Because the pitfall of having that straightforward get to the goal mindset is you don't see the challenges, and they're in front of you. They're there, and you're just gonna trip up over them, and you're just gonna keep falling. You're gonna keep failing. You're never learning from the mistakes. You're just gonna get back up, and you're still trying to hammer out to the goal instead of, all right, let me analyze this obstacle. Let me figure out how not to trip over that again, or how to get this out my way.
That's bars. That's bars. That's bars now. And we can go ahead and end it on that one.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to the Dirty Trump podcast. What we implore you guys to do is do as you always do, man. Go and find us on social media at the Dirty Trump Podcast on Facebook, the Dirty Trump Podcast. We Dirty Trump Podcast on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube. If you're listening to this, you can see the video, see our glorious faces on YouTube as well. Like the channel. Subscribe to the channel, and all those other fun things. Find me on ajmcmullen.com. Find us on dirtytrumppodcast.com, and be sure to get the book, man. Jim State Siege is still on sale. Still ready to reach out in multiple platforms as well as So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. My name is Aaron Mack. That is Marcus Morton. This has been the Dirty Trump Podcast. Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.
All right.